Hello, Froggy here. Today I'm going to be talking about the Garden of Salvation raid, specifically the portal that you use to enter it. If you've done the raid, you probably know that takes place around where the lunar battlegrounds are. There's a cave with a portal that opens up once you've cleared out the enemies. Once the portal opens, you simply head through and it teleports you into the area where the first encounter is. So, it's natural to wonder, can we get here from patrol? As with many other portals in the game, when one of your allies goes through, if you stick behind, you can see where they wind up. My clan leader has volunteered to help me out with this bit here. As you can see, Viz is up and to the right. So let's try heading out that way. You can easily climb up the portal and sword fly over to the first pillar you see in the distance. But all that awaits us there is disappointment. As you land on the pillar, you'll find that there is a bouncy wall that pushes you back. And if you try to go out towards the right, you'll quickly run into the same sort of thing as you hit the boundary of the area that it'll let you go to. But what if we try from inside of the first encounter area? If you fly over to the back left side from where you come in through the portal, there's actually a little area that you can get outside of the map. That ball is not really there, and you can just go straight through it. Sadly, however, much like when we tried from the other side of the portal, if we try to progress any further, we are met with the same bouncy, invisible wall. And it continues in all directions here. But what if we tried from above? Using the pocket finisher technique developed as a collaboration between JV3 and Squirrely, you can get outside of the map. Unfortunately, this technique was patched in the second week of Season of Dawn, so it is no longer possible to do this. However, during that time, I was able to capture some footage of what happens when you get outside of the map here. Right above this area, there happened to be an ideal spot for performing the glitch. Once you have set your spawn point, you simply kill yourself a distance away, and if we got the right spot, we will spawn outside of the map. And we are outside. You can see from the top there's a bit of greenery. I enlisted the aid of the aptly named Uncle Pockets to help orient myself up here. Once he made it through the portal, I had a reference point to move towards. Unfortunately, the barrier that existed below exists up here as well. It continued to push me back just as it did below. If you look closely, you can see some of the mountains that you can make out while on the other side of the portal. The exact same corner. So, theoretically, we could make it, if not for the two impassable walls between us and our goal. Although, so far, all of this has been from within the raid itself. What if we tried from patrol? When you first load into the raid, you may have noticed that it says Embrace before switching to the Looking Glass. Similarly, when you die, the same thing happens. After you respawn, the name changes back. This is reminiscent of what happens in the Dreaming City. If you try to head back to the main map area from the beginning of the raid, you'll notice this mysterious wall blocking your progress. Additionally, the name changes to Embrace. This is just like in the Saint 14 mission area, and it almost certainly means that we are not truly in this Looking Glass zone, but are actually in Embrace the whole time. The game layers an additional name on top of it to hide the fact that we are in the same region as the first raid encounter already. Jumping back to the top of the map, we can see exactly what's behind this wall. And it is a whole lot of nothing. Also, lots of iridescent green for some reason. As you can see, even when we walk around here, there is no load zone. There is no going back to the rest of the moon. I've overlaid some exploration of the outside of the moon in the raid and the outside of the moon from patrol. I've tried to line them up as best I can, but I can't really get any more footage from the raid side. As you can see, the skybox from the patrol side is regular moon, while the skybox from the raid is the same as inside of the garden itself, which lines up with what we thought was going on earlier. It is interesting to note that the invisible walls that prevented us from moving in that direction are gone as well, but that doesn't help us, since the raid isn't there at all. Just to make double sure, I lined myself up with the portal and some of the landmarks we could see before, just to double check. Sure enough, you can run past the point that we could before, and there was some weird transparent ground. And eventually you hit an area where you can't go any farther. No sign of any Garden of Salvation-like structures at all. Luckily, it's not all bad news. It turns out from patrol we can still get on top of the portal area. For this particular out of bounds, I used Code of the Missile to sneak through a little hole. But right next here there's actually another way you can get out that makes this unnecessary. It's possible there's a way to get there without even heavily relying on a sword flying, but I was not able to find it in the 10 minutes I spent looking. But if you grab Code of Missile and a sword, you can follow along this path. We just continue underneath the pathway to what the raid calls Looking Glass. We'll have to duck out to the left of this little section. And we have arrived. So it looks like Garden of Salvation from patrol is impossible on 3 counts. Can't get out of the map there without the pocket finisher anymore. Can't get past the series of invisible walls in between you and where the portal would leave. And it does not even exist in patrol to begin with. But if you were wondering what's present at the end of the back area, this is what it is. A whole lot of nothing and fake ground. Well, that's about it. You can take a look at the patrol region for yourself, and do let me know if you find another way to get out of here in the raid proper.